You often hear about movies adapted from real-life stories, but finding a true story adapted from a film is probably one of the strangest things you'll ever hear in your life. There was a girl named Chloe Ayling, a 20-year-old British model. She was living with her 2-year-old son in a dire financial situation. To support themselves, she worked in fashion shows back in 2017. One day, her company received a call from an Italian company asking specifically for Chloe, offering her a job in the fashion industry in Milan. Upon her arrival, two men picked her up in their car, ostensibly to take her to the company. However, to her shock, there was no company, and it turned out that these men were working with a criminal gang known as Black Death. Their primary job was to abduct people and sell them on the deep web. The two young men seized Chloe, drugged her, and put her in a large suitcase, tossing her in the trunk. They took her to a small rural house, where they took pictures of her and posted them on the deep web. Consequently, her images spread and everyone knew that a girl was kidnapped, but her features were not clear. Chloe's company suspected that she might be the one who was missing and informed the police, who started searching for her everywhere. 6 days after the abduction, Chloe suddenly appeared with one of the young men who had abducted her at the British consulate. The man surrendered to the police, and Chloe was brought back to Britain. But the story didn't end there. The abductor's name was Lucas Harper, and he was his brother's accomplice. When the police apprehended his brother, he refused to speak, and everything was clear to the police. It was a kidnapping operation. But 2 days later, Chloe appeared on television. Strangely, she seemed to be in good spirits, showing no signs of abuse or trauma from the kidnapping. It was as if she had been on a trip to Italy and not kidnapped for 6 days. This raised suspicions, and the police reviewed the footage of Chloe and Lucas entering the consulate, finding that they were holding hands, suggesting a mutual affection. Another video from a shoe store's surveillance camera showed them happily shopping, seemingly normal. Chloe appeared comfortable and not forcibly accompanied. More importantly, they discovered that Lucas was a friend on Chloe's Facebook since 2015, 2 years before the incident, indicating that they knew each other. As the trial approached for Lucas, he requested to speak to the media, claiming that Chloe had asked him to stage the abduction to boost her fame and grow her career. She promised to marry him if the plan succeeded, and most crucially, she had promised to speak the truth to the police after the charade. However, she reneged on her promise, denying all the allegations, stating that she was indeed kidnapped and was afraid for her life. She claimed that Lucas forced her to go with him to the shoe store and hold his hand on the street, coercing her to comply to save her life. When they asked her, why didn't he kill you or sell you on the deep web, she said he sympathized with her young son. The audience was divided, with some believing her, while others were convinced that Lucas was telling the truth. Interestingly, during the trial, Lucas had a defense lawyer who referred to a movie called By Any Means, released weeks before the kidnapping. This was considered significant evidence, suggesting that Chloe had watched the film and liked the story, prompting her to mimic it. Despite all the evidence, the court sentenced Lucas to 16 years in prison for kidnapping and human trafficking. Now, what do you think? Was Chloe truly a victim of abduction, or did she orchestrate the entire incident for the sake of fame?